Hi everyone, Comic Reviewer here. This time reviewing on The Boys Season 1. Now, as you know, The Boys is basically a superhero TV series that is pretty much on the streaming service known as Amazon or Prime Video, and was also meant to be based on the comic book series The Boys that ran from 2006 and 2012, that was at first done by Wildstorm before moving to Dynamite Entertainment. Now, the premise of The Boys is meant to feature Huey, who, after his girlfriend is tragically killed by a speedster known as A-Train, and pretty much feels unable to what to do after the company that he works for, Vought, tries to cover up the whole thing. He's pretty much shown to suffer from PSTD and other symptoms until one day he's met by William Butcher, and this is the moment where Huey's life is turned upside down. And this is a moment where Huey is drawn into becoming one of the members of the Boys. And we see throughout the series how Huey, William Butcher, and Mother's Milk, Frenchie, as well as the female, come together and eventually learn more about the reason why the reason behind A-Train's ordeal, as well as learning more secrets about Vought on the way. Now, I think what the first episode gets right, it's meant to give you this glimpse of what the world of the Boys is, if you haven't read the comics. And pretty much at first you think it's going to be something similar to Marvel DC, but until you see what happens to Huey's girlfriend, you now realize this isn't going to be like a Marvel or DC show. And I feel when you have Starlight brought into the Seven, you can tell she sees this as her long-lived dream, and her sort of seeing this as a moment that she's gone the distance. But as soon as she goes the distance, she starts to see the downside of working with the Seven, mainly with the Deep, who sexually assaults her. Now, in the comics, it was originally A-Train, so I think it being the Deep does work, because he wants to take himself seriously as a hero, and wants to be respected and approved. But the problem is, he's quick to set himself for an extremely hard falls, and when you've got the members of the Seven, some of them aren't completely evil, some of them have their reasons for who they are, like Queen Maeve being insecure and basically being Homelander's home dog. When you got Translucent, he's quick to abuse his powers and feels he's entitled to get what he wants. When you've got A-Train, he wants to basically prove to Homelander he's still the fastest and wants to sort of prove to people he's got what it takes to still be part of the Seven. And when you've got basically Starlight, she's unsure mainly about her faith, what she's meant to be, and so on, which I think does work. And I also know, as well, with Translucent, they basically used him in the show instead of Jack from Jupiter from the comics. In the comics, Jack from Jupiter was basically the comic book version of Martian Manhunter, while Translucent is similar but kind of different. And in the comics, Huey was Scottish and changed to American, and Huey's likeness was based on Simon Pegg, which I think having a more younger Huey does sort of work. And I like how they got Simon Pegg to show up to play Huey's father. And I would say what's interesting about Vought is that they're pretty much a shady company. They see things as a big opportunity, they're quick to cover up their mistakes, and they are pretty much quick to use stuff as PR moments, or basically use something as a big opportunity. Like when Starlight and the Deep go on a mission, it becomes clear they saw this as a big opportunity to get more fame for Starlight. Or when Starlight confronts two drunk guys against one of the victims, they pretty much saw it as another opportunity, showing they don't care who they use to get what they want. And I would say with season 1, they really do know how to do a good story. It's meant to connect what happened with A-Train to something else, and something else leading to that. So showing with 8 episodes, they definitely knew what they wanted to tell. And I also feel when you have Homelander, he does work as a great antagonistic foil to Butcher. When Homelander is basically around people, he acts calm and collect. When he's on his own, when he acts around with one person, he shows his true colours: violent, temperamental, defensive, and embracive. So I think season 1 of The Boys definitely hit the ball. It's basically being a darker, grittier, and violent take on the superhero genre. So I think it deserves a thumbs up. Still good, and still alright. So, Comic Reviewer here, signing out.